Alrighty, good morning everyone. It is 10:51 on the morning of April 22nd, 2021, and this is my trading recap for the day. I get to do a positive $182 recap. And, well, it's still below my target. I am looking for at least 500 a day. But, you know, going to keep cruising along here. So I get to be happy with $182 in profit. Let's see. The first trade that I took was on TDC. This is the 5-minute chart. Let me move over to the 1-minute chart. I can show you my entry here. So, and actually, for starters, let me pull up the 10-minute. I had levels of $47 and 45.68 as entries. The stock was just coming nowhere near it in the opening 10 minutes. It dipped down as low just beneath 50 and then recovered 50 again. And 50 is one of those psychological numbers. So when a stock is recovering back over 50 or 125, 75, a stock has a tendency to come back over it and hold it, test it and hold it. So a good entry would have been, a really good entry would have been right there at $50. You can see here on the 1 minute. It dipped below on this candle right here. Let's see the opening candle. It dipped below to $49.97. And then 4 minutes later, it came back down to a low of $50.01. Then came down as low as $50 even here on the, looks like the 8th minute, the 7th minute. And then here at 9:39 on the 9th minute, it came down as low as $49.73 and zipped back up. So I was like, okay, it's catching support at $50. What's a good entry? And I was like, well, the last high was here at $51.81. So if it breaks above that $51.81 mark, then I'll take an entry. And I took an entry on 200 shares at $51.81 when it broke right here. And I was a little bit worried that it was going to be a false breakout. If you see there, you can see that it popped up and then came back down, almost more than 1%. So I was kind of like, right, what are you doing? But then it started to run. And when it hit, so I'm looking for 1%, a 1% profit target. And when it hit, 50 cents plus 51.81 came out to 52.31. I hit sell on it, but I got filled instead of at 50 cents profit, which would have been a $100 trade. I got filled at 39 cents profit. So yeah, that's the way it goes. Then the next trade that I took was IWM. And to get a full scope on why I traded IWM here, I need to show you the VIX. So the VIX, and this is right here in, I think it's this time frame right here, right around 10 o'clock right here. So the VIX poked up close to being overbought on both the 1 minute and let's see, that's at 10:03. That's 10. No, I bought it back here at 9:40 in the morning. So let's go back and look at 9:40 in the morning. So right here at 9:40 in the morning, you had both the 1 minute and the 10-minute VIX were showing it was going into or bumping against the oversold area, and I'm bearish the VIX right now. I'm looking for anything that gets close to or into overbought on the VIX is an entry to be long on either the SPY or the IWM. And I chose the IWM today because I chose the both today and yesterday because in comparison, the IWM has taken a significant beating in comparison to the SPY. You can see the SPY is still up here close to all-time highs, where the IWM has gotten a bit more of a beating from its all-time highs. All-time highs are up here around 233 or so, and it's down at 223, where the SPY is already, I mean, it's right there close to its all-time highs. So I was like, well, let me go for the one that has more possible range to it. Sort of a previous recent historical high is further away, so maybe it'll have more room to run. And so, I did okay on it. It went, let's see, at 10:03. I entered this thing at 10:03, 9:45, 55, 56, 57, 2, 3. I entered it right here. Right there on this red candle right here. And it dipped down a bit, and so I was like, crap. But then it moved up, and it beat this 264 high. And then as it started to come back down to it again, that's when I got out. And so I only made 13 cents on 10 contracts, but it netted me $126. So it worked out. And then skills, SKLZ. Now, this was a bit of a disappointment. My levels on skills today weren't so great. Now, I just recently put this fib retracement up, and it's actually, this is the 61.8 fib that's coming into, or that it bumped up against there. Let's see, the low is 1684, and the 61.8 fib is 1686. Now, that could be an entry, but I don't like it because this candle right here, this candle came really close to the 61.8 fib and moved away, but now it's got further down to go. So perhaps the 50% Fibonacci level will work, and that's at 1606, 1607. So this isn't a good setup, but my levels this morning were here. And so I was in this for 300 shares at an average of $17.97 by the time this is the 10-minute chart. So by the time this candle right here closed, I was in the drawing doesn't let me, it's kind of like snapping. I wish it would let me draw without like snapping to the lines. Maybe there's a setting here. Anyway, all right. So on this candle, on the 10 o'clock, 10 minute, or the 9:50 candle going into the 10 o'clock candle, I was long 300 shares at an average of $17.97. Now, on the next candle, you can see here, this is almost a doji. It's practically a doji. When it went up, I was watching the level 2 on it, and it was getting rejected from the $18 level. And so it came down, I lost 10 cents on it. So, and it started to move hard close to the end of the close of the candle. And so I dumped it. Actually, let me see if I can show you on the 1 minute here. So that was at, let's see, the 1050 candle. So by this time right here, by 10 o'clock, by this time right here, I was long 300 shares. And it looked like it was going to make a recovery and start moving in the up direction here. But you can see, let me zoom in on this a little bit more. I was watching the level 2, and every time that it tried to break or get above 18, it was just volume would come in and sell it off. And so right around, I think it was in this candle or this candle, right? It was probably this candle right here. Right? That candle right there in the center right there. is where I let it go for a 10-cent loss at 1787. I was in at 97, yeah, so 1787. So I sold it right here. It gave me a chance to get out, break even, but I didn't take it. I was looking for a 1% move to the upside. So it didn't give it to me. I capped my losses on the downside. It has made a little bit of a recovery here. Let's see. Yeah, no, it tried to recover back again. It's just leaking down. So yeah, then I took another stab at the IWM at 10:32 in the morning. I don't know what I was seeing here. Let's go back and see if I can find what I was looking at. 10:31, 10:32. Okay, so I saw it break this previous high right here. And actually, this is actually a pretty decent setup. You can see it came and broke this high, this just previous daily high, and came back, tested it, and moved out. Now, what I was anticipating it doing was just kind of making a run for high of day here. Roughly, let's call it this pivot right here. Yeah, that's actually, you can see there's resistance. This isn't a perfect pivot, but it's the morning pivot. I mean, you can just kind of call it a morning pivot. You can see here it's working on breaking out of this pivot. Actually came up to test right here, and now is moving up. There might be more upside on the IWM this morning. So I managed on this one right here. I managed to pull 2 cents for $8 on 5 contracts of the IWM. Strike was 224, I think was the strike, and expiration was on the 30th. So, it's a green day. I get to be happy with it. At this point during the day, after 10:30, now it's actually 11 o'clock right now. Things tend to, it is worth sticking around, sometimes, because there will be trades to be had. I just don't feel like it. So I'm going to call it a day here. XM is another stock that I was looking at. I didn't have levels on XM because I wanted to see where it would open, but it did a pretty good job of coming into the 75% level right here and then moving away. And, so if I had put in an order here at 37.85, I probably would have ditched it after it made a move back to around 39.19. Who knows? And maybe I would have ditched it after it hit, 38 cents profit. But it turned out to be a pretty decent trade. Volume is extremely light on this, though. So it's kind of, I was looking at it and I was like, there's just not enough volume for me, even though I'm only trading a couple, 200, 300 shares at a time on it. So, all right, everybody, I'm going to call it a day here. Good luck out there. Keep your risk tight. Click like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, and I will see you tomorrow morning. I am out.